Hello again, fight fans. Michael Montero here. It is that time of year again. We're winding down a great year in boxing in 2017. The Montero on Boxing Year-End Awards. It's something we do every year, and usually we put it all together in one video, but this year we're chopping it up into a bunch of videos that we'll be releasing up until the end of this year and even some after the beginning of 2018, just to keep you guys entertained before the schedule really gets going in mid to late January. So let's talk about Trainer of the Year. And there are several candidates we could talk about here, okay? Ronnie Shields. Ronnie Shields did some great work. He always does a good job with Aries Landi Lara. Yes, I know, not the most exciting guy, but not the easiest guy in the world to beat either. Done a good job. But look at Jermall Charlo's progress. That's a big one. Jermall Charlo is a guy, both Charlo brothers are kind of on the bubble, almost pound for pound level guys. They just need another win or two. They need an elite level opponent to get them there. But they're both looking improved. And Jermall's looked very improved recently. So Ronnie Shields deserves some credit. How about Dominic Ingle? The work he's done with Billy Joe Saunders, who absolutely destroyed David Lemieux in their fight to close out 2017's HBO schedule. Great performance by him. Ingle's worked with Kell Brook in recent years. Kell, I thought, was one of the top welterweights until he went up against Gennady Golovkin, and obviously that changed his career. Ingle also has several interesting prospects, several of them undefeated that look pretty good. Let's talk about Derek James. Derek James is a former professional fighter, Dallas, Texas bred, and he's building a real scene there in Dallas. You guys know, those of you who follow my channel or follow my work on Boxing Monthly or anywhere else, you know that I talk about that growing scene in the Houston, Dallas area in Texas. I think that's going to become a new hotbed of boxing. And there's several gyms out there that are growing. I like what Derek James is building down there. He works with Jermell Charlo. And Jermell Charlo had wins over Charles Hatley and Erickson Lubin. That was a huge win over Erickson Lubin, right? Look at the work he did with Errol Spence. Going over to the UK, into the Lion's Den, into a crazy situation for such a young fighter who hadn't faced anywhere near that level of opposition, and going over there and doing a spectacular job. I think that James has to be one of the top candidates, the top 2 or 3 this year, especially of American trainers. Just doing a fantastic job. Robert Garcia is the older brother, obviously, of Mikey Garcia, who had a good year. You guys know I've been critical of Mikey Garcia for his weight jumping and going after the highest possible reward with the lowest possible risk rather than fighting the best in his division. That's on Mikey Garcia. As far as Robert Garcia doing the job as a trainer, I think he's done a fantastic job. I mean, Mikey Garcia has looked very good. And yes, when they went up to 140 pounds to fight Adrian Broner is not an elite level fighter. I think he's always been overrated, but especially at this stage of his career. He's just not an elite level fighter, but still, naturally bigger guy who had been fighting naturally bigger guys. And Mikey Garcia went up and looked very good in his fight with Broner. So I think that Robert Garcia deserves credit. Anatoly Lomachenko. I think he's one of the top 2 or 3 guys right now just based off his top clients. His son, Vasyl Lomachenko, who is among the top pound for pound level talents in the world, and he's basically been training him, quote unquote, his entire life, if you think about it. The decision to put Vasyl into dancing lessons and things like that before he really started boxing, man, look at that footwork. Maybe more trainers, more guys should do that with their fighters early on. But a lot of people forget Anatoly Lomachenko trains Alexander Usyk, who might be the best cruiserweight in the world. Most people see him as the top cruiserweight in the world. And he's a favorite to win that World Boxing Super Series tournament next spring. So Anatoly Lomachenko's up there. Here's a guy that doesn't get talked about enough, I feel. Eddie Reynoso. The Reynosos have taken Saul Canelo Alvarez and built him from a green prospect when he fought Floyd Mayweather. He's probably 22, 23 years old, had a lot of kind of a blue chip, a diamond in the rough, but there was a lot of rough edges still there. And there was a lot of things that needed to be ironed out. And Floyd plucked him at the perfect time to get that good-looking win on his resume. Since that loss, you look at all the different styles they've fought and all the different things they've worked on. as Canelo has bounced all around in weight and had all these money-making fights, and he deserves the criticism for that. But man, this guy, Canelo Alvarez, now he is a full-fledged middleweight, elite level fighter, pound for pound level talent. He is among the finest top 5 or so fighters in the world right now at any weight. I don't care what you say. And the Reynoso, specifically Eddie Reynoso, he deserves a lot of credit for that. And I know it's just one fighter, but when you see fighters improve, that to me is the mark of a great trainer, a very, very good trainer. And this version of Canelo Alvarez that we saw win 4 or 5 rounds against Gennady Golovkin, one of the best fighters in the world, the best middleweight in the world, late this year, that is not the version of Canelo Alvarez we saw get completely blanked by Floyd Mayweather back when he was just a pup. So good job by Eddie Reynoso. But for me, clearly the trainer of the year, Andre Rozier. And I didn't mean to make that rhyme there. The trainer of the year is Andre Rozier. All right, didn't mean to make a little rap song there. But Andre Rozier is the trainer of the year. Look at this guy's job that he's done with Daniel Jacobs. Let's start with him. Daniel Jacobs technically went 1-1 this year. Yes, and the opponent he beat later in the year under that first fight with that deal with Matchroom, Eddie Hearn's promotional outfit here in America on HBO. Lower level opposition, yes. But going very, very close, 12 rounds with Gennady Golovkin, in a fight that many people thought he was going to just be blown out in. I thought he won 4 or 5 rounds against Golovkin. He got dropped, but he finished strong. Late in that fight, he made a push. He put some heat on Triple G, landed some leather on him, and I thought that he proved he's the 3rd best middleweight in the world. I would pick Daniel Jacobs over Billy Joe Saunders right now. Close, very, very close at 3 and 4, those two. But look at where Jacobs is now, and you go back just a handful of years when he took that bad loss, that knockout loss in New York, and a lot of people thought that he was suspect, not prospect, right? And now here he is, one of the top middleweights in the world, proven top middleweights in the world. But not just that, Andre Rozier trained Saddam Ali. Look at his bounce back since that loss to Jesse Vargas last year. He's won, I think, 4 straight, including a win over Miguel Cotto to win a junior middleweight title, and now he's on to bigger business in 2018. But also, Rozier trained Sergey Derevyanchenko, who went 2-0 this year, won an IBF eliminator, so at some point, Derevyanchenko is probably going to fight for a vacant IBF title because you figure at some point Golovkin's going to be stripped because he's going to go after that Canelo rematch, and depending on how that plays out, it might be a rubber match. So Derevyanchenko is probably going to fight for a vacant title. But you got to figure if he does, he's going to win, and he's going to be a titleist. So Andre Rozier putting together really, really good resume in 2017. And I don't see how you could have anybody else trainer of the year. Let me know what you guys think. Who am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? Comment below, like, share, subscribe. Happy holidays. Have a happy, safe New Year's. I'll see you at the fights in 2018.